Let's face it, we all tend to experience some aches and pains in our lower body at some time or another, whether that's aches in our joints, soreness from training, or just general tightness in the muscle. So in today's video, instead of bringing you a workout, I've teamed up with Wavewear, who offer these great kinesiology taping like sleeve, which I have on both of my knees now, to bring you over 20 movements to help improve flexibility, mobility, and lessen muscle soreness. I've included all of the movements in the description below, along with a link to find out more about Wavewear. And if you stick around towards the end of the video, we'll be talking more about this great product. With that being said, let's get started with the first of today's movements.
We start off with a 4-part hip stretch. For this, take your right leg into a long lunge position with your left knee and laces on that foot laying flat on the floor. Start with your right hand on the laces, and then we go through 3 other different hand positions. One being hand on the knee, turn to the right, both hands to your side on the left, and then this last one, try and drop both elbows down, increasing that stretch around the groin, quad, and hamstring area. Hold for about 20 seconds, repeat on the other leg. Our next movement here is a cross leg hip stretch. So you can see I'm taking my right leg, knee on the floor and my shin, and turning it as far as I can so I can push my left knee up against it. This really is a great stretch, again for the groin and also for the hips and quad area. So I'm sort of leaning forwards with both hands stretched out, increasing that stretch, taking several deep breaths in, about 20 seconds, and then repeat on the other leg. For this next movement, we're going to take an Olympic bar and widen our stance to just a little wider than shoulder width and sit deep into it. Great stretch around the hips, groin, and hamstring area. And the goal with this is just to ease into that movement a little further each time. So focus on deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you exhale, just start to feel the muscles relax and ease into that position. Hold for about 20-30 seconds and we'll move on. Our next stretch here focuses on the quad. So what I'm doing is finding a fixed vertical pole or wall or sofa, placing a pad under my right knee, and then that shin and the laces are as flat and vertical as they can be on that pole. Remain upright, shoulders back, chest lifted up, and you'll feel a great stretch down that right quad. Hold for about 20 seconds, taking deep breaths in through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then repeat on the other side. With this movement, we're going to focus on some myofascial self-release. So using a hardened foam roller, I'm laying face down, placing my left quad on and supporting my body weight with my elbow and hands. And then all I'm doing here is just gently rolling back and forth until I feel some pressure in that quad, hold, and start to rotate my body left and right as well. About 20 seconds on each side. Make sure you perform this on the right and the left. This stretch focuses once again around the groin, hips, and also the hamstring area. So I'm placing my right foot on top of a bench and then dropping my left knee down as far as I can with my body up close against that knee. We're going to hold this for about 20-30 seconds, focus on our deep breathing, ease into that stretch as we exhale, and then just make sure that we repeat the same process on the opposite leg. I'm performing a banded hip distraction here, placing a resistance band up on the inside of my left leg, right up towards my groin, and then stepping forwards with my right leg into a lunge position, knee resting on the floor or a pad, and then I'm pushing my hips forwards, keeping my chest upright, shoulders back, really feeling a great stretch around that right groin and hip area. Deep breathing once again, 20 seconds, and then repeat on the opposite side. I'll be turning my attention once again to the hamstring area with this lying straight leg hamstring pull. So using a resistance band hooked around the ball of my right leg, I'm laying flat on my back, keeping my leg as straight as possible, pulling on that band gently to increase the stretch on my hamstring. And then as you start to exhale, try to take that leg out to the side as far as you can to further increase the stretch around the groin, hamstring, and quad muscles. This movement may look a little strange and unusual, but I guarantee it's worth trying. It's a kettlebell adductor scrub. Using the handle of a kettlebell turned slightly outwards, I'm actually resting just the upper region of my leg, around my hip area, onto that kettlebell handle, and start to move my body to the left, right, back and forwards using my elbow and hand to support my upper body. Hold this for about 20 seconds, repeat on the opposite side. For this movement, I'll be using a trigger ball or a hardened massage ball and placing it under the left side of my glute. This is a massage ball hip scrub, and I'm basically taking my left leg out, knee down towards the floor with my right leg remaining in an upright position, and just feeling that pressure on my glute, focusing on inhaling and exhaling and just moving my body slightly around that ball. After about 20-30 seconds, I'll repeat the same movement on the opposite side. This next movement is a standing banded single leg hip distraction, a great stretch for the hamstring. So we're gonna position one end of the resistance band up our left leg all the way up towards the groin and step forwards, keeping the left leg straight. You'll notice I've got a slight bend in my right leg and just bending my torso down towards the floor, feeling that stretch in the hamstring and that band start to pull my hips back. Then repeat on the opposite leg. This is a barbell hamstring roll, which may look a little gnarly, but really great for the hamstring and also the glutes. So what I'm doing here is putting my right leg over the Olympic bar, just a little bit lower than hip height, and then using my hands to rotate that barbell forwards and back as I run my leg over, and also shift it from left to right. Try extending at the knee as well. Tons of different variations here, about 30 seconds on each side. Our next one here is a hurdler stretch using massage ball scrub under the glute. So with my left leg bent, foot pulled in right towards my groin, right leg extended, I'm leaning forwards with that trigger ball or massage ball under my left glute. I'm gonna hold this for about 20 seconds, focusing on deep breath, exhaling as we increase that stretch, and then repeat the same movement on the opposite side. Left leg straight, right leg bent, trigger ball under that right glute. This one here is a great movement for the ankle. It's an ankle barbell roll. So I've got some small plates either side of the barbell just to raise the bar up a few inches from the floor. And I'm placing my left leg over my ankle, resting on top of that barbell and just moving it back and forth, rotating my foot at the same time as well. You'll feel pressure on the ankle. Try and find any sore points that you can mobilize and then repeat on the opposite leg. This is a single leg standing calf stretch. Simple but very effective stretch in the calves. Stand close to a slight step. I'm using a part of the machine here for the squat rack, placing my right ball of the foot over and then pulling myself in to further increase that stretch on my right calf. Toes pointing upwards, you want to get the heel as close to that base step as possible and then just focus on that stretch, easing into it. With a bench in front of me, I'm going to take my right leg and cross my leg across lengthways on that bench. Great stretch in the groin, hips, also feeling it in the quads and hamstring as well. And then using my arms to support my body weight, I can also shift that around, mobilizing my body weight to affect that stretch in my groin and legs. About 20-30 seconds on each side, focusing on deep breathing, and then just make sure that you repeat on the opposite side. Another great mobility movement for the groin. For this, I'm laying flat on my back, taking my left knee out towards the floor, and then placing a weight, could be a kettlebell, a sandbag, a rucksack, something heavy that can help hold that knee down on the floor, and just lying back, feeling that stretch in the groin. 20-30 seconds, and then I'm repeating the same process on my right leg, keeping my left knee up in the air. Here I'm using a barbell on the floor, resting one end of the collar on the inside of my leg, the adductor, and just rolling it back and forth over my leg. Now I can increase or lessen the amount of pressure from that bar by lifting that barbell on top of my opposite foot. So I can also place that foot on top of the barbell to increase the pressure. Just rolling it gently back and forwards, focusing on deep breathing, 20 seconds each side. One for the ankles here with our banded mountain climber. We place one end of the resistance band over our right foot just above the ankle, and we're gonna go into an extended lunge, left knee on the floor. You see I'm really pushing my right knee over my toe line. That band is forcing my ankle back behind me, so a great mobility and stretch in my ankle. 20 seconds on each side and focus on deep breathing. Our final movement here is a side lunge banded hip distraction. So pulling one end of that resistance band up my right leg all the way up towards my groin, and then holding on with my left hand, I'm extending my right leg out into a sort of a side lunge with that band pulling my hips towards the fixed pole. Great stretch here, deep breathing as usual, and about 20-30 seconds on each side.
Okay, and that wraps up the end of today's video. What do you guys think? Hopefully you've seen a few, if not several, of those movements that might be new to you, and I highly recommend giving them a try, if not all of them. As you can see, many of them can be performed with little to no equipment and in the comfort of your own home. Okay, let's talk about WaveWear and these kinesiology sleeves. You've seen in a few of my videos before and on social media, I've been wearing the elbow, the forearm, they do tops, they do tights. I've been trying out these knee sleeves today. Let me show you more about what's on the inside of these, because that's where the real magic is. You can see here, all of these silicone strips apply a light adhesion to the muscle. What's great is around the knees, if you're doing anything like running, contact or impact type sports, or even just training in the gym or on the elliptical or the bike, anything where you're putting constant movement and even pressure through the knee, I find that these apply just the right amount of pressure to the muscles. They help reduce some of the inflammation and soreness that might arise from overextending the knee, especially if you're playing something like football or soccer, you're doing a lot of kicking. So check these out. The link is in the description below. Do subscribe and hit that notifications bell if you haven't already. Stay safe, stay motivated. I'll see you guys back soon. Take care.